Alrighty. So, for anyone who might be watching this later, I did a little bit of work while I was offline because just a lot of the filling in and coloring stuff into fine detail was a lot of stuff that I just didn't want to keep boring people with, and I had the urge to do it while watching videos earlier. So, everything is colored in now. All the background, the middle ground, and the foreground. And on top of that, I did a little bit even more fixing for perspective of the stalactites on the ceiling because they just still weren't quite right in my mind. And then I added some atmospheric effect. Number one, it's a very red lit room, and so I added a little bit of that with some vivid light layer with 25% opacity over the top. And then I even added some atmosphere to the background layer itself. So you can tell that it's clipped down specifically onto the background layer to try and make it look further away and adding a little bit more depth, which is good because we want the focus to really feel like it's on the front characters. And you can kind of tell that when you start to look at it, that the atmosphere really adds that 3D effect. It's something really important that I've found. We might adjust it a little bit later. It gets a little bit too dark up on the top here, I think. So this doesn't seamlessly blend, but I'll fix that with more shading and shadows later. But we're gonna just get into this. I think shading is really where we're close to. I have my shade layer set up here. I got my shade layers set up in every single part. So we got our lighting and our shading. Lighting, and I might change the what I use for these depending on how it looks. But usually I do a 50% overlay and a 50% shading, and they're both clipped down onto the color layer itself, so I can just easily shade around willy-nilly. And I've got that separated for each and every single part, and so that should hopefully go well. Yeah, we got shading to do, and then afterwards it just comes to certain effects like some glows and some like kind of gradient glow shadings on areas. Maybe some particle effects here and there. I'm not really sure, but we got some work to do. But I'm kind of hope. Oh, first also we got some line color corrections to do, and I'm really hoping to finish this up tonight. But first, a little bit of ASMR if this even picks up in the microphone. Oh yeah. I already had one soda today, but I'm feeling like I need a little bit of extra caffeine to keep me going, because I want to get this done, however long it takes me. I love doing this to nobody. This is my own personal delight. Orange vanilla Coke, not too bad. Actually, not my favorite. My dad's absolute favorite. Not so much mine. But I like it. And I guess I did have a cola earlier. Oh, look at me go. No variety. I'm boring. Make sure, as always, the leg of my chair doesn't kick this out of the way. I wish I had bigger disk space. Okay. So what to approach? I see you there. Hahaha. I did a lot of adjusting, and I have to take this off if I want to be coloring without it. I did a lot of adjusting to the stalactites just to even further, and I think I finally got the perspective to where I really want it to be. But if I ever want to color pick underneath, I have to turn these atmosphere layers off. But they really do change it, because that's what this looks like normally, and that's fine. But it's kind of boring. It doesn't at all look like that would go in there, so pop that on, and we got a lot more of the color scheme that we're supposed to be going for. So first things first, there's a couple of color correct things that are just on my mind. So let's go in here and add a color correct layer for, I usually call color correct layer CC. And we'll clip it down. This button right here clips it down to the layer below, so it'll only affect the lines layer. And I'm just adding a quick, of course, as I said, get rid of this, a quick color correction here to make this about the same color as the color inside the mouth, because this mouth is gonna be glowing, ready to shoot a beam of fire. Um, so I think that I just kind of wanted to seamlessly blend. Yeah. Honestly, even this, I might go and recolor that tooth. Yeah, let's go and recolor that tooth. It's a tiny little detail, but something I noticed that would also be kind of glowing. Go onto the color layer here and just fill that in. Perfect. And all that extra effects of the glowing mouth ready to shoot fire, which is, we can see in this screenshot, um, right there. We're going to do something like that. So this whole area is going to be super lit up. Um, so we want that, just a little bit of color correction on the mouth. The other place we always going to do some color correction on, and yes, it's a little bit ridiculous to have entire layers just for this little bit of thing, but it's the easiest way to go about it, is these straps on his thing are supposed to be red. So again, another layer, clip it down, title it CC for color correction. I find it extremely useful to be doing naming for layers. I know a lot of people just don't, and they have layer 1 through 500,000. But if you do a little bit of naming, it makes it so much easier, especially when you got different folders. Organize your layers, folks. It really does save your lives in a little bit. So, these straps are red, but the lines were so small that it was impossible to create a solid filled object, so I'm just coloring over the lines very gently with the red. Boom, that's literally all we're doing there. You can't really tell from afar too much, but I can tell. I know it's there. So, let's see here. I think first things first, we need to add more kind of molten gold to the ceiling. So you can see here that a lot of it is kind of clean on. And I tried going in and just the base color layer and tacking on 8 here and there, but it looked choppy. And I kind of want it to look more like it's dripping down like bits of that. So I think I'm going to kind of go in like that. I might create its own new layer. So let's go into the midground where our gold for this part of the stalactites is. And because we're working down, I'm going to kind of keep this red layer off. So you can do a lot of color picking when we need it. We're going to go up here. Yeah, we'll go up here and we're going to just do gold color. And we're going to vector layer for gold lines. Now we're getting a little bit cluttered layer-wise, but who cares? The color I was using for the gold lines was this one, I believe. Yes, it was. For stuff like that, it's kind of good. And I might color correct all of the lines on certain layers. I think in a dark red would be kind of fitting for more of the scene, rather than these black lines. But we haven't decided yet. We'll see what it looks like when we get there. But again, we're going to be going through with a 3 width, I think. Take our control off of pen size and back to zoom with my dial here because I don't want to accidentally change that. And we'll just be, I'll see how this goes. And we'll fill in the color later. I think that just something like, you know, where we got this one attached here, it could be dripping and cleaning on like that. I like that. That's good to me. And we'll fill in the color later. And then, you see what I mean? You see what I'm kind of getting at here? What I'm going to be doing. And it's not going to be on all of them, because it could be crazy. And, you know, a lot of them are kind of in that, but we can kind of create a little bit of, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll go in later and try and add a little bit more goldish color to them. Or maybe we'll do that with the shading. Not a bad idea to try and do that with the shading. For this entire midground area, we could kind of do the shading as a color, a golden color, but... So, we're getting to the fun detail part. It actually looks good when we're looking at it, and not just like some amalgamous blob of lines and sketch art underneath. And yes, now I know that this was part of the layer on below, so it kind of doesn't fit with the rest of it, but it's fine. It's already part of the drawing. It'd be a lot of work to undo, so we're not going to worry about it. Very fitting that we're gonna have some quiet, calm music. I mean, you can just imagine the feeling of sitting next to some molten gold just kind of dripping down. That's not super high tension. That's kind of chill. I'm liking this. This is a lot better than what I was doing before, which was just putting this gold coloring on top of the color layer itself. And I wasn't even doing a separate layer, so I had to spend time doing like 100 Control Z's to undo it. Can't wait to do all the extra glows and all the particle effects to really make this come together. It's not a whole lot of work. That part's the easy. It's easy at the end. Again, the hardest part of a drawing is the sketching phase. The sketching and the line art to really get it to where like it's the look of you. All this coloring stuff is a lot of stuff that can just be done later. I could pass this off to someone and have them do a way better job of coloring it than I, but there's a unique feel you get, you know? That doesn't look quite good. That one looks good. I don't like this one. Why there's gold dripping from the ceiling? I get the fact that like her scales are kind of golden and she sheds them off, that they're being coated in this, but it's not made out of gold, it doesn't appear. It's made out of rock that the gold happens to be kind of on, so I'm not exactly sure. What's lighting it up either, it just kind of seems to be the heat created by the monster herself. Now we'll kind of move over here. Again, we're not going too crazy. These stalactites are already going to be a pain in the butt enough to shade later. Going into like individual crevices to shade them. Yeah, that's going to be fun. But filling these in shouldn't be too hard because we'll just get rid of the layers in the back and just take out our paint bucket tool and go wild. See, I could have done if I wanted to go super crazy. There's parts in the game where just a huge clump of these can fall right onto your character and damage them. I didn't, you know, we got the little bits coming down here and there, but like none that would actually damage or hurt the character in any significant way. Because if you get hit by those, what are you doing, man? You can see him coming with a protection of a little shadow on the ground. Roll out of the way. And again, I'm trying to finish this tonight because I'd like to get this done. Hopefully, for the release of Rise. And tomorrow's evening, I'm going to be kind of busy. And I could stream in the morning or the afternoon, but that didn't seem to work out today. So why would it work out tomorrow? Honestly, that's looking okay. Yeah, honestly, that's looking okay to me. That's looking okay to me. How crazy do we want to go with some of these? Let's do 1 or 2 more, and then we'll go fill in and see exactly how that leaves us. Alright, so we're gonna hide our layers back here. And now that we got that, we're just gonna go through and, oh, we need this for a second to color pick that color there. We're gonna go on our gold color layer, and we're gonna we got a couple that need to be connected before we can paint bucket them. I think only actually this one needs to be, okay, pull our paint bucket out. We might need to get rid of our gray background. Yeah, we do. Otherwise, it doesn't like it. Otherwise, it's an upset program. Go and just fill in all these, all these little shapes that we made. That is another example of one that didn't get full. What do you look like? Let's go back and just kind of... No. That's okay. I'll do this again for the background as well too. Maybe a little bit smaller and less frequent, but you kind of see how this gets the feeling that we're like going for. Perfect, 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 perfect. We're a little bit barren over there, but it's okay, I think. Now if we put these layers back on... Yeah, that looks fine to me. Especially with that on. Cool. I like it. Getting a little bit crazier with it. Check something with our stream real quick here. We gotta test the chat here. Make sure, because it's been bugging out on me. Perfect. It is working. And as long as you can see it underneath me here, that's one thing I want to make sure is working. And it does look like it is. Nice, nice, nice. So we'll go through and we'll do that in the same process in the background again. Same colored lines, slightly bluer filling, and then we'll have our ceiling done. And then we're pretty much on shading, I think. Shading the background and everything, not too bad, and even the Cove Tarothir, I think she's not going to be that bad. I think instead of going crazy like I tend to do, I'm going to go for more broad strokes. Not go very fine detailed on all of the individual parts for... Friend watching The Hobbit for the first time after watching The Lord of the Rings, and oh boy, I'm jealous. I wish I could go back and have a first time again for those. Again, so we'll go there. We need our darker gold for the lines. Do I have a layer here? I do not. I need to create another vector and another fill. Raster, I guess you should call it. Gold lines. And gold fill. Gold lines, of course, because we're in the background, are going to be a 2.5 width pen. I'm going to go into the gold lines layer. Perfect. And not as much work to do back here, luckily. It's gonna be a little bit more peskier to fill in. We should probably have the atmospheric on so that we know where the background is exactly, because some of the colors blend together. It doesn't quite work. We want it to be more like that. Yeah, that makes the ceiling a lot less boring. Trying to add details to make this so there's no boring part of this image. You don't want to look at a certain section and be like, well, that was kind of a pointless spot. Why is it there? Why is it included? Because everyone wants to be included and feel special. Nah, I don't like that being so close to the pillar there. Should do maybe even some smaller shapes than I'm currently doing. And even fewer of them. Oops. I see a nasty out of place color. Yep, there we go. I wouldn't have been noticed because I'm going to be putting a fill there, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Peace of mind. Peace of mind knowing that that pixel or two is now corrected. This here also, like we did with the last one, that's dripping down directly. Match it up. I really hope I don't try to go too crazy. And when I do shading of stalactites, I probably will take these off for the time being to make the filling of it easier and then tack them back on. That's not a boring ceiling anymore. My ceiling isn't boring either. I got glow-in-the-dark stars that have been there for decades. Literal decades. Still hanging, still stuck. Still glow. For like a few minutes after you turn the lights off. We'll do another kind of droop. Alright, gold fill. Get past our atmospheric to get this color here. And we'll leave it off because it's going to ruin our ability to fill things in. And we'll bop, 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 bop. Oh, doesn't matter, there's nothing on it. And get our paint bucket out. And go around and fill in these shapes. Oops. Oh. Oh, don't tell me. Did I somehow manage to... I did. Somehow managed to draw those lines on the gold fill, not the gold lines layer. I have no idea how I did. Well, this is now the gold fill, and the gold lines will just happen to not... Hey there, Waylon. How you doing? Here to watch me fail, apparently. Because things on the run layer, not the end of the world at all. Just, it's gonna be a little bit off. No one will even notice it. I will notice it. I'm fine. I did a lot of work. Most of my day of actual doing stuff. Can I? Wait. How did I? What? Okay, don't worry about it. Now, most of my day was just doing this off and on. Because I had a lot of stuff that was probably too boring to show, or just like I felt like getting rid of it while I was watching YouTube videos instead. And so I kind of just did off and on work on this while watching YouTube, and it's actually it's gone somewhere. It's actually coming together now, and I enjoy it. Why are you not filling in properly? We gotta. Oh, wait. Where's the color that I've selected? I'm just... Oh, that's really strange. Hold on a minute. Oh, that's why that layer's on. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Again, failing to do the right thing to rip the tree. Also, the only other thing I did of significance today was play Pokemon cards with my buddy Tyler and kick his butt with my new deck that I made some while back. And he was not happy about it. He changed something about his deck and he just like couldn't build anything up. He has an Ultra Beast deck that's usually quite nasty, but it could not get me today. Mostly because he just hates the fact that I use a lot of the VMAX cards. He wanted a challenge. I gave him a challenge. And but like I changed mine because last time I found I just couldn't get energies fast enough, so I replaced 6 different trainer cards with energy cards instead. And boy, was I building things up and doing some damage. Yeah, it's a good feeling. The person who's been constantly kicking your butt for forever in Pokemon cards, just to have retribution on them. I win for a change. He's not happy about it. He's a sore loser. So of course the first thing he did is go online to try and find some new cards that he could beat me with. Cause of course. Fill that in. Pop back out. Put these layers back on. Put our atmospherics back on. And there we go. That's some extra added effect. Beautiful. That's where we're sitting at before shading. Thank you. Thank you, my Pokemon card guru. How's this looking so far? We're about to shading. So much detail, so much color. It actually looks kind of like the setting it's supposed to be part of. With all the reds and the kind of 3D effects of the blues in the background. Even though it's supposed to be red hot. Well, that's just kind of how it works. Because if I take these off, right? I take these off. It's flat. It's flat, it's just a bunch of grayish browns, nothing interesting. Put that on and it's like, ooh. Fiery red is nice and warm down here where we're having this battle, but still looks a little bit flat. You stick something like this on, ooh, suddenly that background has a little bit more depth to it, and we'll of course even add even more later, but that comes after the shading. The other thing I did last night is I decided to just go crazy, and I've been because Monster Hunter Rise, which I'm excited about, comes out tomorrow night, and I want to play it really bad. I was trying to find a way where I could be able to talk on Discord while playing at the same time, which usually there's multiple ways to do that. One of which is capture cards, which are kind of the expensive way to go. But I thought I could get a capture card and then stream games if I wanted to when I didn't feel like doing art. So I did. So there's a potential that tomorrow or Friday I just decided to start streaming some of that Monster Hunter Rise and playing it on my computer because I can do what I want. No one's watching. No one's really watching except for my friends anyway. So if anyone wants to watch me play some Monster Hunter, might do that. And if anyone does happen to come across that, then they may be interested in coming later to watch my art streams. And thank you very much. It just comes from a lot of practice, which I'm finally having time to do now that I'm out of college. It's really sad, but most of my best work has come from my time outside of college, not while I was in it. Because while I was in college, I just never had time for the stuff that actually interested me. I had to work on other projects, especially essay writing. Okay, I don't want to do shading. I want to get a little bit of a look, because I was talking about potentially doing different colors for our lines. Ooh, see, like dark red lines, and I don't know if that gets too muddy. See how it makes a difference though? Those things on the foreground here. It blends in a little bit better. I might do that. That might be one of the last things I do though. Kind of makes shading hard if I can't see the exterior lines super definitively. So a lot of the light source of this image is going to come from right here, the mouth. As you see here on the left in our reference image, that's what's super glowing. I mean, the entire room is glowing, but a lot of the shading on the monster itself is going to kind of come from that. At least around here, around the arms and around the mouth and around the horns. But then once you kind of get back here, it'll be kind of a general shading on the bottom of the scales. I guess I'll just do kind of individual bits and pieces. Shading is the part that I BS all the time. I don't have proper shading techniques, but the thing is, a lot of the times people don't look super close enough to notice it. They just kind of do what feels right to you. So okay, let's just jump into it. Instead of groveling about how I don't want to do it. Let's do a 5 for on the shading layer. Look, it's shading. Okay. We're on the shading layer for the cove and the front here. So first things first, there's gonna be shading underneath the jaw here because it's opposite of the glow that's going on. And it's gonna go down to like maybe there. And we should, oh, oops. I have too much tolerancy, too much of a margin for the color that I was trying to do earlier because of my other wonky settings. No, still lower. There we go. Shading there. Oh, it's already looking more epic. Shading there again. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I do what I feel is right because it's stylized, and as long as it's not like, excuse me. There, alert! There's a color out of place. A pixel that is not colored in. Wee. Fixed. Oh god, it's just. I hate the feeling of like there might be one of those after I upload it somewhere. It's like I see the one pixel that wasn't filled in. I hate that feeling. It's like, oh, you already got a couple likes on there. Well, I'm gonna repost it now because something snuck by me. I want to keep these lighting on because I want to see what it's looking like. As I'm shading, I want to be able to see what it's looking like. Okay. If I don't press the button fast enough. Do horns. Horns. The horns are a funky shape. I'm still not quite exactly sure how they should be shaded. How they should be colored in the first place. I like the size of this pen though. And of course they're funky because they've got a lot of extra splurges, so I can't just paint bucket perfectly. I gotta paint bucket kind of and then go in and fill in the rest. But because I'm clipped on this layer, I can't draw above it or outside of the shape of this monster because it's not part of the layer that I'm working on. So it makes shading a lot easier. Oh, look at the shape that it already starts to get. The extra shapeness. And kind of around corners and lines adjacent to each other. So this should kind of... Oh. That's not a bad sound, that's a good sound. It shouldn't be like that. Well... It's gonna be more straight. But I don't want it to be... Oh, I can have this on the setting now. I want to be all the way across the top because the entire room is not dark. The entire room is actually quite bright. So... something like that. The tops of things aren't just going to be dark for the sake of it being further away from the glow effect. Oh, did you have that D&D session today? Was that today? Is that another part that's not colored in? Holy crap! Come here. You, color, insert. How have I not noticed some of these? Up until now. Well, hopefully I notice all of them. I'm gonna have to go scouting around the image. Back on the shading layer. Back to black. Back in black! Oh, except... It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Weren't you saying yesterday that today you were doing a D&D session with Cameron and her work group? Oh, that was yesterday. So you're preparing for the night of. How did that go? just add a couple like wrinkles to the fingers and stuff. Mark, I'm just gonna leave this. I want to leave that off while I'm filling things in. The crevices, the cracks, the missed things, but I don't want to. I like seeing what the shading, the colors of the shading are looking like as they will be presented. They spent a while trying to be very tactical in a fight where they had a big advantage, but something wrong. And so when you say you won as a DM, what do you mean by that? Because that could mean a couple things. Did you kill someone, or also that moment when you spent so long on a plan and it just plan gets foiled? Won't tell. And you won't tell them. Gotcha. I was like, and I won, which means that they're all gonna die. Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, scales. Well, let's shade her butt real quick, because I'm avoiding the scales. What? Oh, when did I move that? Ugh. Oh. Look at me go. That's the thing about having to. Now is the moment of having too many things on. Oh, I see another thing that's not colored. Because I zoom out and it's fine, but... Gotta go up. Okay, fine. We will not have this on top, because if I accidentally move that, I will not be able to tell. They were trying to rescue someone who was innocent in grand scheme, but they are not aware of something they saw. Back out and go to the title. Go back to the little green. Yeah, well, yeah. That's so much simpler. I don't do a lot. I don't for that comic book. I don't shade them. There's a spot not filled. Are you talking about the spot in the little cave right here? Because I saw that. That's on a way different layer down here. I have to go down to the background layer, and I have to go down to the color layer of the background layer, and I have to go color to copy the color, and then I go. Of course, it's different because. Okay, there. Spot. I hate when it auto saves. Yeah, it makes me feel like I've accidentally moved something. Back to the shading layer. What? Oh. Not pure black anymore. There we go. There. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. I got it. Bottoms of feet. Should be... Oh, why are there so many... I was so bad about finding somebody's colors earlier. Somebody's missing spots. Oh my god. I will get them all. I will. No. Well, so what was the something they were not aware of in the battle? They were trying to rescue somebody's son, but they didn't notice something because probably someone was talking. I gotta do it as I see it, because otherwise I'm gonna forget. Eventually I'll get all of them. I don't know how I want to do that arm. Maybe something like this. Well, I want it. But I don't want it to be across along the edge here. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and do something. That's fine. The sun is bound to the big bad through a brand of curse magic, and something about it happened in the fight. Can't explain more. Gotcha. You don't want me going and telling them? I got my phone right here. I could go ahead and text them right now. No, I don't want to spoil it. The curse is that they will all die if they touch him. These are the hardest parts. It's just the monster and the character, the hardest parts. And again, kind of come. Alright, let's get to shading some of these scales. The undersides of them, darker. For all these solid scales, there's gonna be a lot more. There'll be a glow on top of them even more. Trying later, but I'll try and come up with some shading to show their 3D look. Why did I choose such a complicated monster? There are worse ones that I could have chosen, but one that's complicated but rewarding and wow, hold on a minute. Speaking of missing colors, around some of these tangents, there's a Large number of not quite filled gaps. Tell you what though, they aren't prepared for anything where they are. Oh yeah? Are they the kind of party that just kind of jumps into things, or are they the over-analytical kind? It seems like kind of both, because you said that they were trying to do a big plan, but that didn't fail, but also like they're not prepared for what they're supposed to be doing. Oh my goodness gracious. How did I screw up so badly with some of this coloring? There's the coloring I did on stream, of course. Lighting is gonna be a lot more fun. I'm just imagining how the stalactites are gonna go when that's even worse. Wow. When I start to zoom in, I just notice all these flaws in the color, and I hope it wasn't me like accidentally moving things around. Should I be shading the other underside of things, or should I be just more shading the underlap? Would you be prepared to enter a torture chamber where demon magic is changing humans before your eyes and the demons are enslaving them, or worse for the story? Depends, am I into succubi? Man, that's the kind of demon to turn you into. It can't all be bad, right? More colors unfilled. What I think I want to do is I want to does an incubus are being used to break the wills of the... Well, yes. Makes sense to me. So what kind of demon would I be turned into then? the Balrog Bry, the Bryrog. Oh. It doesn't bother me. I gotta fill in that one. I gotta fill in one up here. Back to shading. Because they don't always fill in the, it's weird. Thangron's Carnage, Demons, and Abominations of this well. Oh god, I'm not versed up enough on my D&D monster manuals to know exactly what all those look like, but I can't imagine it's pleasant. It's almost more almost more of a Diablo sort of feel then. And why are people getting turned into demons, you ask? Fetishes. Or based on like their sins that they commit. To create an army. Because everything's to create an army. How's this looking with the red? Yeah. Aye, indeed. Well, sounds very fascinating and dangerous and world-ending, and I'm sure that they're going to find some BS way to get out of it in the end anyways. They always do. That's the point of running the game. You know, the good guys gotta find a way to kind of persevere in the end. You better hope. Well, I mean, like, you could say that everybody dies, and then they, you know, hundreds of years pass, and now the world has changed, and now the new band of heroes that is character sheets number deuce is ready. Although maybe number deuce is correct. Is time to go on and take mantle of what they couldn't do before. See, that's why I gotta make sure if I'm accidentally moving stuff like my entire colors, I can kind of notice that. I hate the amount of scales that I did, and I should have been clear to myself of how I wanted to shade them. It's looking good so far, though. Just gotta get through the characters. They're just the longest, most difficult part of the shading process. And the stalactites. But like those don't have to be as crazy because you don't notice them as much. Can I be evil? Like a TPK is okay to you. I mean, I don't know. I never liked that idea. I don't know. Me personally, whenever I run games, I don't like the idea of like wiping out the party entirely. Like sometimes, like I don't know. Even if a person's like, I really want to play this character instead, I'm like, yeah, but this character like fits in really well. And like you could shoehorn in a new person, but I don't know. It's never. I've never really liked it as much. Again, missing colors. Shoom 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 shoom. It's mostly gonna be lighting down here that's gonna take effect. Because I like to jump around bottom of the foot shading. Because I just get tired of trying to shade in all these scales, so I gotta jump around. And more missing color. Nope, can't go that crazy. Oh no, the big bad in my story doesn't care if you go bye-bye. He wants his power and you can only stand in his way or serve him. I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes sense in the narrative sense. I mean, certain things are just like, players die. But I'm more of the Tolkien point of view rather than the J.R.R. Martin point of view. It's like it's fantasy. It's it's fine if it's unrealistic and if the good guys survive. Bad guys die and the good guys survive. You're gonna know what's gonna happen by page at age 5. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a difference in things. But if somebody has a legit reason, like if it's very narrative for a character to bite the bucket, especially towards the end, maybe that could be very symbolic, and you could find some way to have them play the player interact and play along at the end. Happens really well in my favorite roleplay podcast in their second series where they have a character who doesn't make it. These better be glowing hot when I get to the glowy part. And I know they will be because because I haven't been doing this in a methodical way, it's gonna be hard if I know if I've missed one or not. I should have been paying better attention. I'll pay a little bit of attention now. Waylon, would you say you're a fan of the Hobbit movies? I uh, I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here yet or not, that one of my friends is like for the first time ever experiencing the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit series, and she watched the Lord of the Rings, all three of them, loved them. Even rewatched the first one. Is now watching has now finished the second Hobbit movie, of which, of course, you know, is a big cliffhanger and like, you know, really gets you that you just want to go watch it, especially in theaters. And now it's fine if you're watching them in a row, but if you're in theaters, it really sucked. It's like, oh, Smaug's going to destroy Lake Town, and that's the end of the movie. Because I know a lot of people don't like him, but I like him. Because I am weird. Ugh. That's some shapeliness. I did enjoy them. I didn't like the added characters so much to like movie 3, but I mean, that's usually the thing that people get is like, I don't like Tauriel, and the only one I will agree is like valid is Tauriel, because she's the character that never ever existed in Lord of the Rings. I mean, in Tolkien's books, she was completely made up. All the other characters, to my knowledge, I believe, you know, are brought in from the books in some way. Um, like Azog is actually a special arc who did die at the Battle of Moria long ago, but you know, in this it's like, oh, but he didn't actually die. He's here to exact revenge, which is, you know, it's fine. It's kind of cool, and they need to fill it out. I mean, the big thing just being that they forced they're like, hey, Peter Jackson, if you don't make this into 3 movies, we're gonna fire you and get a different director. To which he's like, I don't want to be the only one who touches these, and makes them done so well, and so he just struggled to fill it out. But I think that there's a lot of good stuff, especially once you start to look into like how he makes them connect into the original Lord of the Rings story, unlike what the book of The Hobbit didn't do a whole lot of that. I think adding this back will help. I think if I made this that might help. That already adds a lot, especially. Oh yeah. I think that's too much shading on the back though. I liked it, but now I don't like it so much. But like, I think that you can make a good case for the Hobbit movies that like Martin Freeman as Bilbo is one of, if not like the best casting in all of those movies in the Lord of the Rings movie universe. Oh my goodness gracious. Can I stop? That's just humble, weird opinions of me. Who message? Oh, yes. Speaking of said person watching that, her current comment is, ha ha ha, sorry, is this dwarf riding a pig? Yes, they are. That's the one that was really felt it was a battle of the 5 armies. They're like, it only took a few pages in the books. It's like, yeah, but like, you gotta imagine that if 5 armies going up against each other, it's quite a battle. You know what? I think that that's too much. I think that I should just get rid of some of that huge block of shading that I did there and do it more with the nice rounded shading I do later. Okay, yeah, of course, Ian McKellen. I can tell you're becoming more focused. Your breathing is heavier. It's more of just like things kind of annoying me, the like little details that I'm still unsure on, because I know it's not super important, but things that do kind of feel important to me. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this because like I know how I want the shape of the back to look, but because after I do all this hard shading with black on here, eventually I will go back and I will take an airbrush tool and kind of shade the darker spots of shapes, which that's probably what I'm doing now and trying to fill in that back there is probably when I should do that rather than in hard shadow. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And kind of keep a dark line underneath this. Okay, see you in a bit. Boom, 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 boom. And we'll go and do some hard shading on, underneath the kind of drawn in scales. But we will go in with the airbrush later and do more of the shading look. I feel like is the plan, the optimal way. Kind of give her a little bit of a scales look here and there. The shading is the important but the time-consuming part. I have to think again is the thing. I liked where for a lot of the coloring I didn't have to think. Now I have to think. The ground isn't going to have a whole lot of shading, like hard shading on it either. That'll come mostly from the airbrush. Most of this layer is just going to be on her. But the bottom of the tail, something along here, I feel will definitely be hard shaded. Oops, that's not what I want. I say no to that, sir. Yeah, definitely. That's not too bad. I like that shape of that isn't too bad, actually. Get a quick drink of my cola here. see what people are trying to say to me. Did that not go? Oh no. Cool. That didn't go through. Awesome. No, maybe it went through. Now it went through. Maybe someone will see that now. Okay. I don't have to go super crazy on this. I don't have to go super crazy on this. Gotta remind myself of that. I don't have to go super crazy on this. Do what looks good. And there's a missing color! We found you. Hiding, were ya? I don't like what we were doing there. What YouTube notification am I getting this time of night? Oh, a recommendation. Okay, you know what? We're about to call this good on a lot of this shading here. And here we are again with flute in jazz. To which I don't think fits the best, but it's just my opinion on jazz. Can I just... that's fine, we'll leave it. We'll let it play out. That should get some shading on it. Alright, but a shading that will be underground is... Oh, we did say that there's not going to be a whole lot of shading of underneath characters. It didn't look like it is in game, but there should be, honestly, a little bit. like directly underneath them. Okay, the rest of the shading underground will kind of be done later. Now, do we want to do shading elsewhere, or we don't want to do lighting? May as well just do lighting on this layer. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Back, hello. I was so lonely. I've already been going for almost an hour and a half. My goodness gracious. I am hoping to finish this tonight though, so if I have to be up late, I will. Let's see here. If I were to do lighting on this layer, that's bright. I like it. Now the lighting. There's a glow around the mouth because of the glow coming out of the mouth that we'll add later. That's gonna be fun to add and make look right. It's gonna be a hard light on there. So to keep, nah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just sitting here with my own thoughts as I try to make this look good. There's shading. Honestly, good enough shading for me. I wanted to do a lot more shading on the back, but I think it just didn't work. It didn't look super great, so I'm gonna... Honestly, even that's a little bit much right there. I'm gonna do a lot more of it with just kind of a brush later. Oop. Wrong thing. Wrong layer. See, the thing is, like, I get better gradually over a long period of time because instead of being smart and doing like a lot of practice pieces, I go big. Like if I'm gonna draw something, I like drawing a full scene, you know. So instead of just drawing a character or just drawing a monster, like a full scene is a lot more enjoyable, a lot, I don't know, more interesting to draw for me because there's a lot of elements that you have to practice: perspective, character drawing, background drawing, posing, action. You know what I mean? Pokemon battle. If this was a Pokemon that you battle, you'd be dead. Monster Hunter is not Pokemon. That would be interesting. I could see that being like a funny internet skit. That's the fun, awful thing about the lighting is that it doesn't paint bucket fill properly, so most of this I'm gonna have to just like draw in by hand. You hunt Is it though you hunt pocket monsters to help you fight? Well, okay, that's fair. You know, you hunt these guys and then you wear them to help you fight. Now, it's kind of like an Aegislash or something, right? Maybe, yeah, gosh. Aegislash is just the Monster Hunter of Pokemon. That's what I've been saying all along. They don't have like armor Pokemon per se. See, once you start to add the shading and lighting, you start to know what I can do to this? I can lock this so that I can't accidentally move it. That's probably a good thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, they do what? They do have an armor Pokemon? I don't think so. There's like the Isle of Armor and everything in the new game, but like armor Pokemon. Like I could wear this Pokemon. Or wait, is there? Oh boy. It's coming together. Oh, this lighting. This lighting really makes it begin to look like the monster is supposed to be. Real quick, we're gonna go down to here and fix that shading right there. And go back to white and go back to our lighting layer. Isn't that really starting to look like something? Poniard, Aggron, Escavalier, and a lot of steel. Okay, well, they're not so much like armor that you wear, you know? It's Pokemon that are armored for sure. Like Aegislash is a great example of a Pokemon that like is a sword, it is a weapon. It's sad we didn't get Pokemon Gun. You know, but like that's kind of what I was talking about. Right. Oh, I like things coming together, Waylon. That's the benefit of something like this, where it's just such a long project, and just like at the beginning, you're like, how do I turn something like, how do I take something that is, where's my original sketch? Go from this. Oh, hold on. That's it, right? That's a little sketch I did on a piece of paper. How do you go from that to that? Bum to bum. It's that's the nice thing when that happens. And look at that. I'm just touting my own I'm just touting my own talent here, and that's kind of it's not great, but I like it. It's a satisfying feeling. Be happy with what you do when you're with your art, right? Like you writing your stories, if you don't sit back and read it and be like, that's a damn good story, do it until you feel that. Each and every one of these scales I'm actually determined to like add lighting on now, because it actually makes her kind of look like she's supposed to. And there's gonna be a lot of red glow that's coming on later. Only happened twice, but when you wrote something, you sat back and you're like, yes, I like what I wrote. As at other times, you're just like, there could be more to be done to this. I think sometimes you just got, yeah, they're sure there can be more, but you know, you gotta realize that something that has a beauty in the end of it. It's finished, it's complete. What was it? What was it 2 times? Like, when was the last time you had that feeling? Has it been a while? Because I don't know. Recently, with a lot of my art, it's most of it, especially when it's a big piece like this. When I sit back, I'm just like, yep. Because like I'm actively trying. Except for a couple of my practice pieces before, like there was some good stuff to it, but like nothing like this. I've definitely put a lot more effort into this than some of the practices I was doing. Yes, it's kind of cliche to be like, yes, it's metal, so it kind of like shines like this with some circles, but it looks good. Oops. Oh, it's called One Without a Power, and I loved it. What was so great about it? What kind of story was it? One Without a Power. I think it was a dream I had that I wrote called The Council of Divine Protection. Oh man, I need to start writing down my dreams. I tried doing that one time. I just like at my mornings, I'm such a terrible morning person at the very start. Unless I absolutely have to be doing something, I'm so awful about doing it. So like dream journaling never really worked out for me. Get all these scales. Get these scales a glowing. Like if you had to try and pinpoint down the spark that made those great, could you? Could you realize like why is this one something that's means so much to me? Why is that off? Hold on a minute here. Background, color, gold fill. Oopsies. These need to have a lot of glow on them. The first one was about a young boy who was the only person who had no power, but his parents were immortal gods who gave him fake power so he wouldn't be bullied, but he ended up gaining the immortal powers after telling his friends about the truth. Oh, that's lovely. Giving him fake power, so like, it just looked like he had powers, but in reality they did nothing, or... Obviously you don't have to summarize the entirety of a big plot out to me. Just curious. I'm sure this is also something that you can always tell me another time. In person if you feel like, not typing it all out here. Putting your secrets out into the world. Fake powers, like sometimes you could cast a small fireball or teleport. They couldn't give him permanent powers because of their rules. Gotcha. Is it kind of a short story? Or is it kind of like your usual stories where it's like 1,000 pages? 3 chapters based off a dream I had. I like that. If this is something that's written down or in a file somewhere, you should always send me like a couple of your stories. I'll try and read one. If I like it, maybe it'll get me hooked. Or are they actually available online to read somewhere? Oy vey. Coming along, coming along. Coming along. People read my stories, Dead hides. Why? I know. I get that. But, like, what's the point of read? Well, actually, no, you know, sometimes it's just for yourself. That's fine. But maybe you can make some people smile. Or taking them on an adventure. Getting close to being done shading the monster herself. I've been going at this for an hour and 40 minutes. Ay, 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 ay. Well, if you ever feel like you want to share something like that with me, I would certainly read. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I guess since this layer is where those lines are, if I want to put shading underneath the hunter, I gotta put them in this layer. This right here should be a little bit less shading because of the... Okay. This is a little bit much. Shading without it, boom, boom, perfect. It should probably be even thicker lighting around here, but I'm sure that'll come more later too. Alright, so click on the shading layer. Put a little bit of shadow underneath our hunter here. So I did add like the design of their cape there. Very crudely, but enough. Alright. Dang. What? The effects of what I've been doing? It's weird how a couple of little extra lines there help, isn't it? Thanks for the autosave, but I would like to actually save it too. Notification. Someone mentioned me in their story. My little sister did, which probably just means like, here, be part of the super long tag of things that you're not interested in. 1 photo, 1 song, 7 tags. Circus by Britney Spears is the song that she chose for this. Thanks. That's an interesting choice. I would love to just listen to my crazy playlist of songs on Spotify, but they don't want you to here on Twitch. Super red lighting in my room. Okay. So, lighting and shading for the hunter and the palico. We'll do the palico first because it's small and easy and less work. Come here, little buddy. Would you like some shading? Ah! Easy peasy. He's small. See, the hunter will be not too bad also. There's just a lot of parts on the hunter, and if I think, but as long as I think more of like the collective parts. What layer is that that's getting in the way? Oh, it's probably not colored in all the way. Indeed. And then the background, as always, is missing a color here. So goofy. I could have this adorable cat face here, but instead I decided to show him with the dragon head the Fatalis mask on. Also, the more I do this, the better slowly better I get at just figuring out the shape of things and how they would be shaded. Never really studied. You know, I took a lot of, well, not a lot, but a decent amount of art classes. My major was digital art, but I didn't do a lot of things like here's how to shade. Make sure you know these tricks for how to shade things. Nope. Apparently didn't take the necessary classes to learn how to do that. But man, it's amazing how automatically a little bit more 3D things can become. I love the little figure wasp. He's adorable. College most of the time useless except for what you want to learn. Exactly. Well, I mean, I went there wanting to learn digital art, and I took the major digital art, and I spent 90% of my time working on honors college classes and stupid reports and papers. Something that isn't colored because of course it is. Yeah, it makes sense why the color wouldn't have made it into there. Yeah, but like all the time I had for digital art courses was just like, do you want to take 3D modeling or do you want to take VR that you don't really care about but it just seems cool? Because I never had time. I wanted to take animation so bad, but I never had time for animation courses. That's why it's so cool when I just kind of sat down last year and learned a bit of Adobe Animate because I never had a chance to in school. Hmm. Okay, that's simple. That's easy enough for his shading. Lighting on him. Do the lighting of the little figure wasp here. I think that the Vigor Wasps are kind of coming back in areas of Rise, and I hope so because they're adorable. I'm using an overlay, yep. Did did you do college, Waylon? At all? I don't know this. Or did you just go straight into the working world? I did. Where did you go to college at? For how long? I forget how much older than me you are. So I'm just like, I surely would have known him when he was doing college, but I guess like I probably did, but like didn't know you super well. Oh, he's adorable. Okay, Hunter. You were the last like big obstacle of shading before I can get onto like the easy parts of the rest of the drawing. Went to Clackamas Community, then PSU for my bachelor's and master's, and a tiny bit of doctoral. Wow. Wow. Decided not to get the full doctorate degree. You don't want to be Dr. Krebs. Actually, that sounds pretty good. Dr. Krebs sounds pretty good. Yeah, that's true. Were you do were you doing that the whole time up until recent years? And I was just kind of oblivious. Well, look at me go. And what were you studying exactly? That's a good way to approach. Oh, I'm gonna get lost in the information of all of this for what parts I've shaded and what I've not shaded. Masters of Writing with an emphasis on creative and journalism, minor in script and history. Technical writer is really the correct term. Yeah, that sounds about right. You gotta get those stories out. That explains why you're so good and why you're so passionate about writing. When you feel comfortable, you could probably publish some stuff, my dude. Just, I mean, like I did with my comic book last year. Just go be crazy and just decide one day you're gonna do it. You're gonna just make something, you're gonna publish it. Don't care about the quality. Just get it done, get it out there. You never know, you get a huge following of people who just want to read all your stuff. Get a TV show made, I'll make a comic book for your stories. Oh, you are? Do you have a specific story that you're working on, like a published story? Publishable, I should say. I don't like going all the way down there with the shading. 3 of them? Well, of course. You gotta be overachieving. What are the exact, well, actually, I don't want you to ruin it too much and talk about what you can't, but if you have like any specific themes that you are kind of working on. Do I have my blue layer on? I do. And what's called The Witch Contract. Ooh. So is this gonna be like full-length novel? Is that what you're thinking? You got something to publish and potentially sell in bookstores? 23 chapters. So is it currently 23 chapters, or like that's where you're aiming to be at? Aiming, gotcha. So how much of that have you actually written? I assume you have a lot of it, planned out, and you've got like the outline for it for sure. Yeah, no, that's exciting because I'm sitting here thinking like I know you're really big about writing. You write all these stories in your free time, but like I want other people to read that. I want to see you put it out there. Have other people excited about it. Second one is The Council. There is only one choice. The book must be written. One of you must do this. Sorry, I guess Lord of the Rings is on my mind. References abound. Well, I'm gonna bring this up. Instead of this, I'm just gonna paint this black. Have this layer be the back layer, so all the potential holes that we have will be filled in with black, not like a gray or a white. The third is called the Rogue of Seas. So you got, it sounds like, or at least from title wise, you've got a good variety of stories there. Are you working on them simultaneously, or are you just kind of we have one that you're working on, the next two planned? Mix, nice. Well, you know me and my family. My mom works at a library, so if you get something like this written, published out, or not even fully published out, and you're just like, I want people to read this, slap it on the library. Go talk to them about it. I don't know how they work with publishing new novels or not. I wouldn't say novels because I'm sure you're great at it anyways, but novels. But you could find a way to get it out there. Just slap it on the book of a random shelf of a random bookstore and see what happens. Goodness gracious. So much shading to think about here. So many different pieces and bits that have to make sense. That's definitely darker. Just see, gonna lurk in the background for a bit. Thank you. Lurk away. Not expecting anyone to really be paying attention anyways. There's not a lot of interest to be paying attention to. I'll sit here and just think to myself for a bit then. Especially right now, there's not a lot of things to really be interested in looking at. Just shading random bits. And I'm sure I'm gonna miss bits. This, of course, is a pain in the butt to shade, because what the heck are these shapes? I say, what the heck are these shapes, but I'm the one who did this to myself. Gotta love that trombone chorus. I'm gonna give this some sort of 3D look. Quick autosave, it looks like. I want to shade the sun, but I notice this is gonna have a glow on it. It's gonna be glowing green because of the scout bugs inside of it. Is that pretty good for shading? Thinking so. Definitely does add some 3D. Alright, I will be right back. I gotta go use the bathroom real quick. Boop. No, that one will fill in my drink. Alright. It's fine, don't worry. You can enjoy my quick, awful slideshow of very little art that I've done. But here, I'll be right back. Have no fear, audience of one, meaning Waylon. I am back. Yes, yes. Okay, audio is coming through. Good. Whee. Yay. I know you were waiting for... Did I finish this? I guess I did. Oh. Oh. Come back to do the lighting on the character. Oh, that last little bit of orange vanilla Coke really had a kind of medicinal flavor to it. Don't look in the closet. Okay. Pure white for the shading layer, or for the lighting layer. I want to be on size 5 is what I've kind of been used to using now. And let's just get into it. Kind of some effects on our weapon, because the weapon is made out of metal. Mostly monster bits, but metal too. And tickets. Gotta have tickets. Special bonus tickets for making cool weapon designs. Oh, I got a message while I was gone. Well, I binged 3 Hobbit movies theatrical, so I know I missed some parts. Nice. God, I haven't binged something in a long time. I always feel like I'm wasting too much time if I'm binging a thing. Actually, that's not true. The last thing I binged was Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai was extremely good and very bingeable. That was after I had watched all 3 original Karate Kid movies again. So I was just like, this is on my shelf. I haven't watched this in a long time, and I realized how much I love the Karate Kid movies. All 3 of them, I don't care. Oh boy, yeah. What? What are you trying to me? Oh, there should be shading right there. Should this all be shaded? Might. Maybe it should all be shaded. Yeah, actually it should be. Should be all shaded. Because it's kind of being obscured by the armored weapon. You're about to tell me something about the Karate Kid movies that you don't like? Come at me. They're great. All 3 of them. Third one probably the weakest, but still has a lot of good lessons to learn from Mr. Miyagi. Oops. I enjoy them. I don't know. I maybe it's just the nostalgia of them, but like rewatching them because I'd watched the first one maybe again somewhat recent years, but I hadn't watched the second and third one in so long. I mean, usually you think of this, and people don't like enjoy the sequels as much back then, but like I don't know, people were watching them trying to look for lots of cool like karate stuff, and there's not a lot of karate or big fights, but if you watch them for like the father-son relationship between Miyagi and Daniel, and just like what messages and life lessons you can get out of the movie, there's some nice stuff to be had there. Maybe. But yeah, but like the Cobra Kai series, I mean, you know, there's a part of the fan base that's always like, you know, Johnny was right in that, you know, Larissa was a bully, and it kind of explores that without like making like villainizing either of them, just like the difference of perspectives, which is really great. And all 3 seasons are good, and it's a little bit campy, but it's, you know, it's got the great feel of the original. It's got a lot of emotional moments. Again, it's what lessons can be learned from this. It's very much a lesson-heavy TV series. I'm so excited for Godzilla vs Kong. See, I need to get into that because, you know, I could use some pure just action and rage in my life, and I haven't actually I haven't watched the most recent Godzilla movie. I don't think. I'd. Oh, and where can I watch it though? I don't know where I can watch it, Waylon. Come over and do it. What makes him so good? Is it just pure adrenaline, things being destroyed? Is that the ultimate entice? The works, the sound. That is true. The spectacle, the cinematics. That's what makes those kind of movies fun. You're not going for plot. You're going for the awesome spectacle of it. Oh my god, I was spectacle releases a lot of spit particles. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the hunter. Let's scan over it and see if there's anything critical that I'm really missing. Your ass vibrating because the bass rumbles you. It's gonna room to shaking due to the monster noise. Is literally the room shaking. Do you have the sound system to cause the shaking of the room though? Come on, dude. Maybe I'll feel up to one of these days coming over and doing something like that. I think we need to do a little bit more lighting on the Kulftaroth here, on the tail, I think, and the leg. That's kind of being influenced by the light of the fire breath about to happen. How many what movies are there in this quote unquote series? There's Godzilla, and then there's like the Godzilla King of Monsters. Is there anything else in this series? Is there a Kong that's recent to this? For near series. So it's the Godzilla King of Monsters, and now the King Kong versus Godzilla. Okay. Well, that seems doable. And when is that already out on some streaming services? Is not quite out yet. March 31st. Hold on. don't know if I want to do this now, but I might experiment to see what it's looking like. Pull out my big soft airbrush. Go to this shading layer. Give it a really dark red. Oh my goodness. Multiply. This is where, oh yeah, this is where some of the real magic of the shading is. The real 3D stuff. Waylon, this is where like some of the real magic of the shading is. I want it crazy dark on some of this to have contrast. See, this is what I was talking about for the back shading earlier. Now, see vivid light and get a something like that. Oh yeah. We'll go through and do the mouth effects later. This soft eraser. Manipulate it a little bit. See the magic of what's happening there. Might be a bit much for that. We keep that 100%. There'll be a lot more shadows in the background to really offset it. That's what our shading's gonna get towards looking like. Ooh, that looks crusty. Why does it look so crusty right there? So the other thing that we were thinking, right, we were thinking of taking... That would help with that. Oh yeah. So this super dark red, I want to just have on a layer up here. That's line color. 3 people? 3 people? Ooh, was 3 people. I need to have this dark red. Oh, what? Oh, it looked like I still see only one. I thought you were the only person who's sitting here. What the heck? Line color. Oh, I need to be down here. You're the one person who cares to watch me sit here and do all this cool color work. That's a little bit much now that I'm looking back at it. Tone it down a little bit. But this is the line color that I'm thinking I want. Lines. I'll make sure that we grab this color here. And then we're gonna go do that on all the lines. We're gonna go down to here, these lines, same. It's really funny when it tries to grab the default. Okay, maybe we need to go darker than that actually. Seems a little bit too bright. I just don't want it to be black, you know? Because black's boring. You gotta have it something a little more interesting. There you go. There. That's better. That's a little bit more defined. I think that this vivid light can probably go down to cool. It's looking pretty good for a front. Now there's gonna be a lot of glow on the gold in the background. That's the foreground. The foreground is pretty much essentially complete. We're gonna have to have a layer here later for like the huge glow coming out of its mouth. Gonna get a drink of water. I've been going at this for 2.5 hours. I feel like we did pretty good progress for 2.5 hours. What time is it? Sweet mercy, what? How long I've been going for? That is a tank. Yeah, that monster, yeah. Kulve Taroth, I mean, it's not the hardest monster in the game, but it was like, they did a, what they call it, a siege monster, where like the entire lobby of 16 people would be working to constantly go up against this monster, and you would most certainly not beat out in the first one. You just had to do your best to break parts and gather evidence of it, and so you keep popping out, and so the further... Oh, the water bottle! Ha 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 ha! Yeah, this water bottle. I was like, oh, I thought you were talking about the cool monster. Yeah, no, this, yeah. My mom got it for me since I was working outside so much. And, it definitely hydrates. I haven't filled it up in quite a while because it's still got water in it. Okay. Mid-ground. What is on the mid-ground? That is all mid-ground. So let's go to the base shading layer first. We're gonna get our pen with a black. And we're going to decrease the size of our pen. Yeah, it is quite the water bottle, for sure. It actually looks like artwork now and not just some stupid line art. I'm glad of all the parts of the stream looks like artwork, bro. Well, before it's like this is just a couple neatly organized lines in a certain fashion. Now that there's like a lot of lighting and glowing effects to it, I'm hoping not too much. It looks pretty. It looks like a good amount to me. Can like as long as you don't like lose the definition of the character, but like it should be really kind of bright, vivid light on them. Oh god, so how much of the midground is so can I be coloring? What I should do is I should combine the well, I can't really because of the way I drew them. Oops. That is a missing color. Dun dun dun. Wow. And a missing. Correct. With that. Yeah, I mean, without the red, oh, it does not work so well. But with the red, dong. Okay, what part of how do I want to shade this? Ugh. Shading some weird shapes like this is some of my least favorite. You have to trust that things will transform eventually into what they're meant to be. Too good. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. The flattery. I feel like I have indeed kind of found a bit of a style that works really well for me. Took some time to kind of discover it. Oops, what did I do? Oops, it was just saving. Okay. For me, it's a lot easier to focus on doing something like this when I don't have anything to really watch except for chat every once in a while, because I used to just sit here and draw to music or YouTube, and I'd get so distracted. Like music I like, so I'd be constantly wanting to sing around or jam out to it. No, I shouldn't. Lighting doesn't work like that. I would comment from earlier, but it would sound awful. What? Comment from earlier, but it would sound awful? What would you comment? Do it. Roast me. Oh, wait, well, for distraction? What? Did I go through and change the color of all the lines? I don't think I did. Gotta change the color of these lines too. Yeah, oh, tying the color together. Background even, the lines. Don't worry, your innocent little heart. Oh God, what did I say? I didn't pay attention. Oh, God, I don't want to shade the stalactites. What? Oh, that's the background layer. Oops. Just do my best to kind of zoom through these while making it look good. I guess like the overall shading only needs to go so far. Oops, the wrong eraser is selected. Like I said, don't worry. I'm not worrying about it. It's okay. How much of this do I want to actually like truly shade? Oh, I don't know. The shading doesn't actually look that good on the stalactites. Actually, I might not. I might just... The solid shading on them doesn't look that great. Might because maybe since they're so far away, it's not worth it to just like solid line shading. Same with like here. Maybe it's worth it to just do the gradient shading. Why don't we try that? Also, we forgot, real quick, on our lighting here, we need to have I don't know, actually this might be better for bug glow. Put that for maybe a higher light. Oh, wrong layer area. There we go. Yeah, for the mid-ground, maybe we'll just go ahead and create our lighting and our shading. Gotta make it quite a bit darker too. Might make this a little bit heavier. Atmospherics. Oh, well, I'm gonna want the gold glow. And I didn't even do a lighting layer. Should have a little bit of... Again, I don't know for a lot of things if it needs like a hard... This could use a hard glow, hard light. These foreground pieces. What I'm most glad about is that this is actually kind of capturing the screenshots quite well, I think. Okay. Right, I want to do lighting a little bit on these rocks falling down. That makes sense to do. Do a bit of gold glow. Be a hard light. Go here. Pick a very bright white gold color. Kind of glow around. Around a lot of don't go crazy, but just come over, watch movies with me. Good friendship day, and Pokemon cards like we've been planning. Maybe. Whenever you get the new cards in, that is. I saw that an even newer series dropped recently. Let's see here. It just shipped yesterday. Oh, the ones that you had ordered? So maybe that means we'll get something soon to experiment with. Can't wait to actually open some and see what we find. See, these need some sort of shading on them, but... Oh, it is? Is this? No, it's not a multiply. That's why it's not looking quite right. That would help. Yeah, some of the closest needs shading. They just need some like effects on them so they're not just like solid colors. just to have some shape on them. Make them look more like objects. The ones in the back don't matter as much, but the ones in the foreground for sure need to have something. So those ships, when do you think they'll be arriving? I said that those cards shipped, but when do you know when they'll be arriving about? Monday. The time has come. Oops. Well, you know what to do then. Of course, that's just sitting there pointlessly. Looks boring without it. So this, honestly, more of this upper area should be shaded like that. Shouldn't be that bright. And if we're to do lighting, I don't know if we want to do vivid lighting, or maybe soft light, or maybe hard light. Whatever light we did earlier. Should be light towards the ground. I don't think I should. I'll have a. Oh, I could have a little bit of vivid light up here for the. Monday. Much love. You headed out? Ah, okay. Well, thank you. Much love back. No, when you say something like much love, it just sounds like you're leaving. You're my only viewer. If you leave, I got no one. Okay. In the background, I don't even know if I want much solid shading, honestly. See what if we just look like if we just do her black on. And what we gotta do now is we gotta really make this 3D space in the background. Thank you. I don't ever really expect random people to join in. Soft light of yellow kind of along the floor. Actually, I kind of want more red along the floor. No, never mind. Trying to make sure that the character doesn't really get lost. This should be like the darkest spot back here. Face intense there. Yeah. But I'm trying to be like, I want, this is like finishing touches toward almost. I want to make sure I'm doing what I want. And again, like trying to make sure that, should this should be above the, no. Well, I guess actually if I copy this, duplicate the layer, and have it over. No. Well, unless it's like 15%. Make this a 35%. Ooh, that's warmer. That's warmer. That feels almost too warm. But it really draws your eyes down. See, I also like looking at this screen because it's nice to see it smaller. Right here it's big and it's on a very... The display itself is really good colors, and so if I'm always looking at this, I don't get the best representation. I gotta look at this sometimes. I think that for shading here, I need to... Needs to be really dark behind a pillar. Just for the sake of how the scene is set. Ooh, 3 hours and 8 minutes. What if I tried blending this a little bit? We're blending. Blending the edges of where I'm shaded so that way it's less hard. Don't take it out of context, okay? Makes sense. Oh, ooh, I didn't mean to leave that there. That's mid-ground shading. That's the new part. Need with what I changed, I need to do more shading here. Intense staring. Thanks. What? It's flushing the blood to my cheeks doing this. Except like it shouldn't be entirely really dark down here at all. Should just be the kind of ceiling that looks like that, really. I want the ground to still feel hot. It could feel even more red than it does right now. You know what, maybe we'll put this at 35. Yeah, that needs to happen to get that more red. I think we're blending. That helps that be less less brush strokey and more cohesive, especially over the course of the background there. And it's funny how it's almost instant. I can kind of just look off to my left screen and see what's. God, I really made that bright red, but it has to be. I think I'm gonna go in and do the huge glow coming out of the monster's mouth right here. So that's kind of like the last piece, and then see what it looks like when I'm finished. What layer does it want to be on? That's gonna want to be on. Right there, probably. Yeah. Call it fire glow, because why not? And it's just super. Something like this. But even it's could be a lot. Yeah, something like that, and then we'll add a glow to it later. There's kind of a glow behind it only. Yeah. Hot. Yes. It's really just kind of like this messy, glowing hot glow. Maybe. Nah, I want that full opacity. Saving recovery information. Beautiful. I love it. We'll press the actual save button and sit back and just kind of look at this for a second and see how we're thinking about it. Thinking pretty good things about it. Yes, quite I see, indeed. Like, you think about it to the extent of like, am I about to the point of thinking I'm done with it? Put these in their own folder. Even doesn't really matter. Firemouth folder. I'm getting so many layers of so many things that my computer is like this, and streaming we don't like it. This glow that I had. Ooh. I had that. Where's a layer of? Gold glow. Gotta have a little bit more glow along the ceiling in the darkness. Hmm. What I'm thinking is the shading and lighting and the should be less as intense in the mid-ground, because especially in the background we don't have any dissipation of it, because you don't want like an overabundance of information. Hide one hair is designed to be crazy. No, I'm not happy with this. Of course, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save it and export it and sit in it overnight before posting it to social media or anything. Yeah. It's probably fine, probably good to be done. But you never know if there's something that I wake up tomorrow and be like, oh no! I don't see any stray pixels that aren't filled in, at least. How about that? I like the look of our character. Our character looks really solid. Mm. Needs to be a little bit of 3D shading on this pillar more. That's helping a little bit. Having a little bit more 3D shading on the pillar. And same in the background too. That helps make it a little bit more 3D. And then I think for foreground firemouth, the glow takes some particle effect. We'll just take a color from in there. We'll shrink this brush size down a little bit. Move the particle size down a little bit. And create a different layer because I don't want to do it and then regret it and then have to redo it later. Yeah. Oops. 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 Oh, listen to that trombone though. There's a lot of good trombone in these jazz pieces. Okay. I think I'm about at the point where I'm gonna save it, export it, and sit on it for the night. Sounds like a good plan to me. Make sure that I like everything in it. Alright. File. Export single layer as a PNG. Go through author with it. Yes. Ooh, that's the right to file. Alright. I think that is time to call this here then. I'll ponder over this, and when I think it's ready, you'll see it go up on Instagram/Facebook. So, his hand masked his face by his eyes betray a gloom decision. Yes, the thinking. Thinking. Plus, also, you know, it's before midnight, and I can go to bed and get a good night's sleep, and be excited about the new game coming out tomorrow. Actually, there's Monster Hunter Rise and an update for Risk of Rain 2 coming out tomorrow, so that's kind of exciting. Okay. Alright. Well. Thank you for hanging out with me for this long time, Waylon. I appreciate it. Nice to also like look at it on my phone. Gotta look at it on multiple devices. Been a pleasure. Much love back, of course. Let me know about Pokemon cards slash Godzilla. We'll talk about that for sure. I will see you next time, maybe. Maybe it'll be more art, or I might actually try streaming some Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out tomorrow. Maybe a late night stream of I will make my character first and then hop on to show that. Alright then. Have a good night. Bye bye.